Welcome everyone to our next video tutorial where we're going to start to do some of the fixes for our vise here. And we're going to start by working on the keys. Right now the keys are pretty small and they cut into the part and into the base, and then they just kind of float in the jaw with no way to lock in place. So let's first go ahead and make the keys a little bit bigger so that we have somewhere to lock them on the jaw. Instead of editing my key, like opening it up by its own thing, I'm going to right click on key and I'm going to go to this edit part. And you can see everything else dims and it's just my key. And if I twirl down my key, I get all the stuff I have in my edit part. So this is kind of the same as being able to open the part by itself. I'm going to double click on my Vise extrude. So right click on it and go to edit feature. And I want to change this to be 0.625 inches. So pretty big. Alright, let's go back. And our key now cuts into our jaw, but because of the way we place the joints, if I go up here and I click rebuild, now my key is in the correct place. Alright, let's make these cutouts for the jaw a little bit bigger. I'm going to twirl down on my jaw, right click on it, edit part, and then go to my first Vise extrude and edit my sketch. And then we're going to change this dimension here to 0.375. Alright, go back. It's never a bad idea to rebuild just to make sure everything's good. And as you can see, we still have the part cutting through our base. So let's fix that now. I'm going to go to evaluate and measure. And I'm going to hide my base. I'm going to go from this edge to this edge. Oh, come on. And I see that I need a distance of 1.75. Alright, let's show my base again. Get out of the measure tool. Right click on my base, edit part. Twirl that down. And go to my cut extrude. And go to the sketch, edit that. And change that to 1.75. Alright, go back. And now we have that edited. So now we have our key correct, but it still is just kind of floating in there. So let's go ahead and fix that. I'm going to right click on my jaw again and edit part. And I'm going to create a sketch on my bottom plane. Let's go to the line tool. I'm going to find my midpoint and come in somewhat. And then I'm going to do my line again on the other side. And then I'm going to select both lines by holding Shift and having both of them selected and make them equal to each other. Alright, now I'm going to do a smart dimension. And I want it to be half of 0.375, which is 0.1875. Or I could do 0.375 divided by 2, and it'll do that math for me. Alright, so that's where I want my holes for what's called set screws to hold our key in place. So I'm going to go to Features, or get out my sketch first, and go to Hole Wizard, and Positions, and it automatically recognized the 4 points, so I'm going to uncheck these outer ones because I don't want those, and go to Type. Alright, so our first hole is going to be essentially a counter bore hole. Although we're going to do it as a blind hole, we're going to drill one large hole and then we're going to drill a smaller hole and tap it. So for this larger hole, the size of the hole is, so I can show decimal values to see, it's going to be a number 6. And it's going to be a depth of 0.9 or 0.7 inches. So right now I have a hole that goes most of the way, but not all of it, 0.7 inches deep. Click OK. And then I'm going to go to Features and Hole Wizard again. Let's go to Positions. Oh, I need a sketch in there. I forgot about that. So I'm going to get out of the Hole Wizard, go to Sketch, Sketch, and click on my inner surface. Which it's not going to let me do because these are not flat bottoms. These are pointed bottoms. So what we're going to do is just use our initial sketch here. So I'm going to make that visible so we can see that. And then I'm going to go to Hole Wizard, Positions, Existing 2D Sketch. I'm going to twirl down here and find this sketch. And that sketch is already used. That's very annoying. Alright, so let's draw that sketch again. Now, because I already have those lines visible, I can just convert entities and convert the two endpoints. And there we go, we have this visible. Let's uncheck the visibility of that sketch. Go to Features, get out of my sketch tool, go to Hole Wizard, and then we're going to change this to a tapped hole so it has threads. And we're going to change it to a 440 screw with a depth of 0.9. Now, it's going to give you kind of a warning because doing a tap of 0.9 is really, really hard. But remember, we did the bigger hole first so that the tap can kind of reach into there, so that's okay. Alright, click OK. And now we have two holes. We have a tapped hole, and then we have a larger access hole as well. Last thing we want to do is add some set screws in there. So I'm going to go to my sidebar and come down to Design Library. Scroll down my Design Library, Parts, Hardware, and I can never find it. It's always kind of difficult. Toolbox, sorry. So I'm going to go to Toolbox, add in now, Anzai Inch, bolts and screws, set screw socket, and I want a cone point, which is or a cup point, which is your general set screw. I'm going to right click and insert into assembly. I'm going to change it to a 440. Length 0.125 is fine. You can see my little set screw right there. So let's get out of editing just the base, and then I can put a mate of that center point to there. Whoop, that is wrong because it's upside down, so I'm going to undo. And let's try that again. I can flip my mate alignment and click OK. And there we have our set screw in the right place. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to copy and paste that and move it over roughly into position. and then go to mate. Change my mate alignment and click OK. And there we have 2 set screws in the bottoms of those holes in the tapped area, holding those keys in place. Press space to get to my view and kind of line up first. And there we go. We have our vise with the fixes for the keys. Let's go ahead and save this. Save all, rebuild and save. And there we go. We have this part done. Now, thank you for watching this tutorial. If you would please like and subscribe to this channel and this video to help me make more of these tutorials.